good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're at, because I know we're international now.
Yes,
Possibly
we are.
all 7 people.
All 7
Yes,
people.
all different continents.
Spread out.
One on
across,
each continent.
Yes,
At
one
least.
on each continent.
Yes. All right, I'm Mike House Family Fitness. Got a studio in Pelham, Alabama. I do private training, one-on-ones. I do group sessions. Then I have my cohort here that does need Jesus.
I do. I'm just your local dirtbag trail runner.
And your name? You remember?
No, it's
Not
not important.
It's 2 letters.
Oh,
sounds like.
What does it rhyme with? Oh, I'm DC.
Okay.
Local dirtbag trail runner.
And we do have somebody.
Well, should we do studio audience first?
Studio
audience.
All right, so
Let's
we have
do the
studio
audience.
audience.
We have door prizes.
We have door prizes. So Iron Jack Rawls, as always, keeping us in line, on track, and down the right
trying.
path. He's pretty successful. All right, steer away from Jack. That's his. Get the fuck away from me. Most importantly, today, we have somebody that's going to educate us on music, fitness, running, life, and how not to be an asshole. So I'm putting a lot on his shoulders today.
Not to be an asshole?
Mhm.
Really? Wow.
I think so. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Jonathan Croy.
What's up?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We
I think
love you.
he's-
Thank you so much for coming out and spending the
love
time with us
Facebook
today.
famous?
Yeah,
Like,
oh, he
starting
is
this week.
absolutely
This
Facebook
week.
famous. We've been doing this for a few months, and we got like 7 views.
Yeah.
John goes, "Let me tell you bitches how to make ranch." 19 million people are like, "God damn, I didn't know you can make ranch at home."
Yeah, listen, it's Jesus's ranch. I'm just here to prophesize. Thank you for having me. So, legitimately, when you texted me, I was like I felt like I arrived. So I feel really good about.
Right.
So
So, drink.
drink.
That's new rule. Needle pulling thread. If he says so, anybody says
drink.
so, you have to drink. So if we make it an
Is that
hour,
a punishment? I don't know. I don't know if it is a punishment.
I'm a glutton for it.
Nope.
So.
Shit.
language.
You might want to hit that explicit button.
I will. Don't worry.
To start off, if you would
Yes.
give some people may not realize why we have you on.
Okay.
And why is because this individual here has achieved to be a phenomenal musician and travels the world to do that. And he's also set his mind in our realm, in the fitness community, to not only run a 50K, but run your first 50K, and it was
ultra.
self-supported. So that was one of the reasons why we brought him on. Not only was his first 50K, he set out and said, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. And you did it.
I did it.
And if you would like to
Just
do
a small bio, just a little small bio. Let him say who he is, if people
There
don't
you
know
go.
John. If they don't know
That's
John,
right. Give it a little bit.
they're sad. But
They are
won't be
sad. If they don't know you, their life is not as special as it could be.
Come closer.
Lean in, kids.
Yes.
My name is Jonathan Croy. I use fillers when I speak when I'm nervous.
Did we talk about the one you was going to start using, or we taking that one out?
We're gonna change that.
We're going to
on the
stick with
fly,
them.
yeah.
Okay.
I found out that I use a lot, so I'm going to work on that as we go. It would be a self-discovery of sorts. That was my past. It was constructive criticism, and I am appreciative. My name is Jonathan Croy. I'm actually from this part of the world. I'm from Alabama and Alabaster. I went to Thompson, and if you don't know geographically, is that way.
Yep. North
Possibly a 10-minute drive from here.
Yep.
or less,
or
depending
less.
on the day.
So went to school there. Did my undergrad at Alabama.
You're welcome.
I'm working. It's gonna be a struggle, but we're gonna be there with each other through this process. Did my undergrad at Alabama. Just kind of did a lot of things, but I am a professional French horn player. That is what I do. I teach French horn and I play orchestra with orchestras, symphonies, opera companies around the world, regionally, all of the above, as well as I run because it's fun.
Is it?
Outstanding.
Actually,
most times
running is fun.
It is.
Yes.
Absolutely. Mental break, relaxation. People don't realize that.
It's also all kinds of fun. There's more than one kind.
Yes.
Of fun, right?
There is more than one kind of fun, but it is relaxing as well.
Yes.
So you say you did your undergrad at
University of
Well,
Alabama.
it's just east of Mississippi. Let's just say that. Just 'cause-
Okay, so just east of Mississippi.
More that
Yeah, just east of Mississippi.
You did your undergrad. What was your undergrad in?
French horn performance, which is a degree,
Oh wow.
which was a tuition scholarship. Very fortunate. Probably would not have gone to school otherwise. I have parents that are teachers. I was third in line, so that money. Was
Yes.
gone.
You're like, oh yeah, we got another one.
Yeah. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah. High five on the way out.
I want to be smart.
So wait. I said it. Why French horn?
Why French horn?
Where did French horn come into your life?
So I'll drink on that one. French horn came into life. Both of my parents are actually band directors. They were my band directors, which was a fresh hell on earth.
Yeah.
It was wonderful and great and horrible at the same time. And I remember going into 7th grade because I went to junior high. That
Did you?
I was a junior high. It was
Wait.
in middle school. Yeah,
Yeah.
7, 8, 9. That's it for the kids, and
Yes.
that's how you know. I did French horn because I was told I couldn't. It's this. The Guinness Book of World Record is the hardest instrument, and all of the above. That was there to me. So they have an evening, which is like a petting zoo. So they show you all the instruments. I grew up in the band room. Like literally, when I got back in 1st grade and went back to my mom's band room, my chore before I left was to clean up the band room. So like 150 chairs, and I would just slam them down and put them in place. And she was like, "You're going to clean that up. That is, in fact, your job." So I already kind of had a distance from band just from the setting of it.
Yeah.
But I knew that I would like it. I had a lot of friends in it, and siblings were in it. I was looking at other instruments, thinking that I would do that. And we had this petting zoo where they show you all the instruments. You walk in. There's really, it's not like Ollivanders and Harry Potter. You pick up your wand and that's it. It's not like that. But just
The hat on, French horn. Yes.
if they did, that would be next level. And I remember walking up to French horn because I was going to play the tuba. That was it. I was going to play the tuba. My stepfather told me he would buy me a tuba if I played tuba. And I was like, I want stuff. So, yes, I would love it. An obnoxious instrument. And I walked up and saw that. I was like, that's pretty cool. And my mother actually played it, but that didn't really register. And someone was like, you don't have the setup for it. And it was one of those like slow turns, like,
You said I could do this.
you said I cannot do this. So at the age of 12, let me show you what I can't do. And I played it, and everyone in the room, it was actually like this weird Ollivanders moment where everybody went, that was good. That was weird. Like, I just did some stuff. So I hated it for about 2 or 3 years. I mean, it was a miserable experience because it is a very difficult instrument. I wanted to drop out.
So you were bucking the system to get the French horn,
Yeah, it
basically.
bit me in the butt hardcore. And I remember going to my mother and saying, I don't want to do this. She said, great. So what are you going to do instead? Because you're just not going to go home and not do something.
yes.
You will be part of something greater than you because you as an individual who I love, there are things as a whole that are greater than you. So you need to be part of that. I'll stick with it. And I realized, sorry, you're going on this journey. I realized
have you
though
here.
that the reason that I hated it is that it was hard and I wasn't good at it. And so we have the honor bands where kids go together Thursday, Friday, Saturday go together. And I went to first couple one. I got my butt handed to me by I think a 7th grader, and I was in 8th grade, so I knew everything because I was 13.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
Experiencing that now.
Yeah.
I have a
It's
12-year-old.
fun-
I have a 12-year-old.
it's funny
Been
because
there.
I teach that grade now, and I love it. Well, I teach a bunch of children. All of that said, your poor parents. Anyways, oops. So I ended up looking
Sure.
around.
I know.
No, keep going.
Yeah,
We'll stop.
yeah.
Just talk.
I
I'd rather
ended
you
up-
talk than to be an asshole.
ended up looking around and being like, they can do it. I can do it. And why can't I do it? Well, maybe it's me, which is, I guess I'm really fortunate at a very young age. I realized that it was not my circumstances, I went to school with people that had money, went to school that people didn't have money. We didn't have money. We didn't have money for private lessons. So I figured out, eventually I kind of get going of, that person is really good and they're doing this and they're good and they're doing this. And I started putting the pieces together. They're just spending a lot of time doing this. They're practicing.
Oh my gosh.
So
No,
I ended up
concept.
actually like just practicing. In my mind, nothing could come bad of, and this is how I kind of got into running too. Nothing bad can happen from sitting down and just playing my instrument and see what happens. Next thing I know, that is what I'm doing as a profession. So I teach French horn and music, French horn primarily, music band type thing as well, and play with the orchestra. So I went from hating it, wanting to drop out and do home ec. That was a fight. And then that's what I do. Have degrees in it. There are degrees in French horn.
So you have degrees. Now you got your undergrad from
Alabama, University of Alabama.
Right, and
Tuscaloosa.
so-
Eastern Mississippi, yeah.
Yeah,
So we're gonna say
okay.
just Eastern Mississippi because
Yes.
who I am.
okay, because
Yeah,
Just Eastern
I'm just
Mississippi.
geeking everybody. Yeah.
after your undergrad, I'm picking up that you went to a different location to study even further in music. Is that correct?
Graduate school. Yeah.
I did go to graduate school, but it was actually several years later. I was very fortunate in my journey of playing the French horn that nobody is going to pay my bills except for me. So in undergrad, I think why I saw early success, I know why I saw early success, was school wasn't going to pay my bills. I was very fortunate that my French horn professor, Skip Sneed, love you, Skip, he's like a dad. Skip,
Sponsorship opportunity.
yes,
Skip,
absolutely.
Skip,
Skip,
Colorado-
he's a cyclist.
Colorado-
He's like a
These two,
legit
not him.
cyclist too.
Okay.
Skip is
Reach
one
out.
of my favorite people on this planet Earth, and he's 6'1,000. He's awesome. Anyways,
Pretty tall.
he would not give us opportunities, but you very clearly see when you get into a studio in a university, there can be 10, 20, 50 horn players, depending on whatever school you go to. So there's about 25 or 30 of us. And Skip, being who he was, local orchestras and things like that would, hey, we got a concert coming up in a couple of weeks. We're shy of one person. Can you help us? He was kind of first call, and then he would divvy it out. So I very swiftly realized I need to get on that list because I do not want to work at Publix. I want to make that money in a week.
Nothing wrong with Publix.
Nothing. Absolutely.
Yes.
I love Publix. And to all my students that work at Publix, I love you.
Better
So
playing the horn, baby.
Yes. Moving on.
There's nothing wrong with playing the horn, but I remember thinking like, okay, so this is how this works. And then being introduced into the network of it all and understanding what it takes on a technical level of playing your instrument. Like, you have to bring something to the table, and you also cannot be like a douchebag. So on a business front, I mean,
Yes.
we sit closer than Mike and myself in an opera, in an orchestra, anything like that. You're like 8 foot away. And there are people that figure it out, and they are miserable human beings to be around, and they wonder why people don't ask them back. You can play your instrument like a god. That's fantastic. But if I can't stand the oxygen that we share with each other, it's not worth it. At some point, there is a level where somebody can just do the job.
Well, listening to that, I think you have to have a symbiotic relationship with the person playing next to you.
Yes.
Whether you know them, I would say intimately.
Yeah.
I can say, when I say intimately, that's somebody like you and I. I know we know each other's histories past.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know them in that vein, if you sit next to someone, it has to gel. I'll use that word. And you will pick up very quickly if the person next to you and yourself are oil and water, or if y'all are water and water.
Well, so particularly a concert, if you've ever seen an opera performance, so you go on a Saturday evening, largely the first rehearsal might be a Thursday evening, Friday morning. We spend 2, possibly 3 rehearsals together because it takes a lot of money to hire musicians because we're so rich. and we work 8 months out of the year, you know. So we
Hard to
have
hide
that.
money.
So you're
Hard to hide money.
well, you're walking in, and I can't tell you how many orchestras that I play with in this area that, and how many occasions, countless. It's not even countless. It's just the norm that you walk in. Hi, my name's Jonathan, and you're expected to produce at an incredibly high level. So your humility, you leave the picture immediately. That's a really good angle for me. Thank you.
Like, chin up.
Like a little bit more. A little bit
You
more.
have to put the
a little
chin
bit
on
more,
the
a
shelf.
little more.
Chin on
Done.
the
All
shelf.
right.
So yeah, you have to.
If I leaned
there's-
back, I was out of the shot. Sorry, I was trying to be.
No.
I was trying to be
You're kinda-
incognito. I say I'm
That's
out
good.
of that one
That's good.
too.
How about
I
that?
see what you're doing. You're trying to cut me out.
Not
All right, I
trying.
apologize,
Like
sir,
trying.
that we.
like other
Like trying nothing. He was out.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a little tangent. I told him we get a little tangent here.
Oh man, we chase
So
fictitious
we went
rabbits
to-
all the
we
fucking
went
time.
to the college just east of Mississippi.
That's East Mississippi.
We finished there. We had
and
a
then you
little
did
span.
your graduate school.
Then we
Yes.
went to a
Where
different
did you
school.
complete your graduate at? Are you at liberty to?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Timeline. Alabama. Got my first job in Jordan, in Amman, Jordan. So I was teaching and playing with a symphony in Amman, Jordan, in the Middle East. Come back. Did a little stint in Beijing. Came back. Worked throughout the United States. So, like part 6, if we want to get into it. Worked a bunch. Started doing some things in DC with an opera company. DC. Started doing this with a summer program there. Come to find out that there's a great opportunity. I had kind of I pushed back my graduate work. School is incredibly expensive, and if any of you are getting ready, I'm using teacher finger. If any of you are listening to me and you're looking at going to university, I'll say it louder for the people in the back. Do not spend money. Everybody and the mama got a 4-year degree. Do your 4-year degree for free, then spend the money where you need to. Now, I was fortunate. I went to Bard in New York. It was north. They call it upstate New York, which is a lie. It's literally 45 minutes north of New York, so people call it upstate. Plot twist, Rochester's like 6. You get into Canada. That's upstate. But it was still really cold. I was in a very fortunate position. I had been working, and I had told myself long prior, I am not going to pay to go to school. So I was paid to go to school. And I was fortunate. I had 4 teachers at the same time. One was at Juilliard and Curtis, which are big schools. 3 worked with the Metropolitan Opera. One of them was with the Philly. So what was really hard, and I love them if they're listening. I love all of you, but it was so hard, and what was one of the best tips I can give. Sorry, we talked about tips. It is
Just the tip. Is this just the tip? This early? No.
No. This is just
a warm up.
Okay.
Warm up. No, what I learned very quickly was having 4 teachers that were 4 amazing people in the field that have 4 very strong opinions, which is what got them where they needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, I started trying to please that opinion. And then about my second year, I realized while I love them, and if you're listening to this, I love you, but you're not going to pay my bills. I got to pay my bills. And when I started doing things that I thought was right, and what started using my brain to say, like, I think this is right because, funny enough, on their end is when they started saying, sounds good, John. Yeah, good job. So I started putting my needs first. But there was always, I was always able to back it up. It's like a lawyer, right? I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You
Ugly
had
word.
the talent, you had the ability and the talent to step onto the stage or step into a room and know that when you played that instrument, you were the best motherfucker in the room.
So talent is a really, thank you, statement or question. I will go with
Both.
statement. So talent for me is like this term that I don't feel like exists. Talent is realizing that you know what you can do to get where you need to be. I teach students, and I've been around people that are just these virtuosic Wunderkids. It just happens. And sometimes they don't have the best careers. I think talent is realizing early on, and I guess thankfully I realized in my perspective early on that I gotta bust my A in order to get what I want. Like I can't, like no is not an answer. Like I want this, so
And you're going to do everything you can to achieve that goal.
Blood is bad. That's all I've ever told myself. If I'm bleeding, it's with
Back
French work.
off.
Yeah, like I tell my kids. I mean, we teach like 6th graders now because middle schools. I tell my kids day one, blood is bad. We're shoving a piece of metal against our face for hours on end. It's not comfortable. And many people I've worked with and all of the above. There's one lady in San Francisco. She's a phenomenal horn player. She told me one time, she's like, I don't know how to say it like any nicer, but sometimes it just it's gonna be done in a couple of minutes. So
Well, hell, we got to tie into like ultra running and don't we?
That's what we're getting to.
Yeah, that's probably why he could do the ultra, because of what he's done. I mean,
That's why we were going to tie that all into it.
segue.
I talked to him earlier. I fucking suck at segues. Done with that. Let's move on.
I got you on it. See what I did?
And that was
well,
the biggest thing that my question for you was, you went from I hate the French horn, right, to I'm doing this to prove you wrong, and I'm realizing that this is something I can do. But it started off with someone telling you, you can't do that.
Yeah.
When you came into ultra running, or running, I want to say ultra.
Wait. First ultra this weekend or last week?
Last weekend.
Last
And ironically,
weekend.
my watch just told me to move. So
Yeah. Move.
All right, 5 burpees.
I'm good. I'm solid. So-
That watch is not the boss of me.
It's not the boss of me.
I did mine right before we got here.
I can see the flamingo.
Can you?
Did you bring that same mentality? I assume you did. You bring that mentality into your daily life, correct?
Yes.
And you brought that into ultra running.
Yes.
When did you start running? Because I've known you for 2 years now, year and a half, two-ish years.
Yeah.
So you have always ran.
You're welcome.
Since I met you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you take the transition, or what brought you over into the running? Have you always been a runner? Was it a mental release? What brought you over into that realm?
Okay.
History of running, yes.
History 101. 2007, 2008. Sure.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor, and he told me that I needed to lose 100 pounds. Yes. Pray tell.
So please elaborate on that.
Yeah.
You are not. I can imagine the man I love being in need of 100-pound weight loss.
I weighed 350 pounds at my
You didn't know that, did you?
I had no idea.
You did not know that. Yes.
No, I
We
didn't
should have
know
brought that up
Hey,
before.
we had a conversation earlier, and it took me 6 months to figure another situation out. So no, I didn't fucking know he weighed 350 pounds.
I was a big boy.
Every picture I'd ever seen of you, you were thin.
Yeah,
That was the
I
model.
deleted
Like
it.
he's baited us because he's got that picture of him like in the slot canyon.
Yes, in the
looking
slot
like he's, like,
canyon.
starved to death.
Yeah, he's sitting.
Well,
you're
that was
sitting up
the
on the
modeling
rock. That
days.
was the
He
picture.
was-
Yeah.
he was
That
a
was my
model.
introduction to JC.
To
Up on the
JC.
up on the rock canyon. I'm like, who's that sexy son of a
Now
bitch?
you got-
Friend.
now you Now you got thickums looking at you. I weighed 350 pounds.
You gotta come this way.
Come on.
I'm trying not to
Look.
crowd.
I know.
COVID.
COVID. I'm trying not to
Feeling more
crowd.
sun on
You
this
guys might
arm.
just have me have to give me the cooler.
Nah.
Your mouth.
Oh, it's too
wait.
heavy. I can't
This
lift
is one.
it.
This is one thing I really love about him. Is like do the.
I wish I could do that.
That actually comes from rehearsals when you can't speak and you're watching this ridiculous conductor make some comment that they have no idea what they're doing, and I can't verbally say, "What? No." So, and
Everyone around you, I assume they're like us, and they're all like,
oh, it's the church laughs, and I guess one of my spiritual giftings is being able to keep a straight face on things, and I will straight up look around like, who did that, as well. So that might be part of that. Oh no, I broke my shoes. It's fine. Back on track, John. I weighed 350 pounds. Yes.
just to, because I'm sorry, I'm inquisitive.
Yeah, I'm ready. Please.
Yeah.
So were you I'm not.
Did it come
I-
up
He was fat.
Yeah,
yes.
no.
I was morbidly obese.
Were you a Jack knows where I'm going with this?
Mhm.
Were you a child? Did you come from a family that had poor eating habits? That you were a heavy child, and in that,
When you see
Hold on.
husky sex,
Sorry.
I'm
I
not
love
cutting
it.
you off.
I love it. No, it's fine.
not poor eating habits, but you come from a situation that individuals emulate what their parents did. So if they had poor, shitty eating habits, and you had shit food
Okay.
that's what you did.
Yes.
Can I add to it? Yeah,
Mhm.
let's
I'm ready.
follow that. So in the whole lineage of French horn, doing this,
Yeah.
school, where was Big John? Like what part of their life was Big John?
Okay.
Okay.
Big John hit his max probably my 4th year at the school east of Mississippi, Alabama. To answer your question, DC,
Turn back, Trevor.
food for me growing up, my mother come from a split household. Still love my mother and father and talk to them in daily. But growing up with my mom, my mother was skinny fat. So I think that we associate if someone is thin, they must be in some type of health, wise to them. My mother can eat like a trucker, and she was absolutely fine. I distinctly remember, and my mother and I have had plenty of conversations, and everything is good and fine. But I remember on several occasions, and one in particular, it was like a Saturday morning, and my mother is like a superwoman. Like the fact that she was a band director and had like 250 students on her own. The world, I like everything from my mother. But I remember one Saturday morning going up and saying, "Mom, I'm hungry." Like 10 years old, probably. And she's getting ready because she was taking care of me and my sister, and she was doing a second or third job. And I remember her saying, "I think there's some frozen chicken fingers that you can fry." And that was Saturday morning breakfast. And so growing up, food was there. My sister and I have struggled with weight. My mother, growing up, was super, super skinny. She was a model and all of this, and could eat anything. So never had to actually learn how to eat healthy. So it wasn't that it was negligence by any means. It was like a
Different
ignorance.
mindset.
Yeah, I mean,
just different mindset.
yeah.
I
well,
can,
not even mindset. It's like her world is different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
We grew up
Big
in
chemistry experiment, and hers went well.
Yes.
having great, and even though you think I might be 19 years old, I'm not. But when I grew up, I'm not. Thank you, though. If you're thinking that,
21.
Max, I still get carded. I don't. But I grew up in the thick of the diet food, Diet Coke. And
so anything that said diet, you thought would be.
Well, that's what was supplied. I mean, I was 10. I'm gonna eat what you put on the table. I don't have it. So by the end of my undergraduate degree, I started realizing, out of sheer vanity, absolute vanity, that I don't like putting on clothes and crossing my fingers if they're going to fit. That's a horrible stressor.
So at the end of the East University, kind of.
Yeah.
That was the biggest John.
That was the biggest John.
And then we started traveling, and then we're still Big John.
Well, no. So right before I started traveling, I lost about 80 pounds. I remember working out. Well, that's when at my biggest at 350 is when I started running. I literally knew that one foot in front of the other in rapid succession is running. That is where that's really where my knowledge base ends. And
COVID.
so
Probably COVID. Yeah.
it was possible, or the gnat attack that we have. And that smoker, by the way, smells delicious.
We get tangent. We have to show my meat before we leave.
Oh, we have to
Yes,
show your meat,
absolutely.
but I was really hoping to get some of that Kaneka.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my sweat
Well,
smells.
it won't be on
toasty.
video, but we'll get connected.
Okay, all right.
I remember running and working out. I probably lost about 80 pounds of when you're at 350 pounds, and you look at
80 slides off real easy with just changing food
Movement,
habits
just
and
moving,
moving.
yeah.
Correct.
I remember
moving.
being able to run about a minute at a time without having to stop. That's the max I could get. But I was like, yeah, cool. The French horn mindset, right? So like practicing, I'm looking at something super, super difficult. You just chip away. Like there's nothing wrong with chipping away. I moved to the Middle East. Running for me as a white male living in Amman, Jordan, which is like super liberal of all the Middle Eastern countries and was super comfortable. Only had a few run-ins, no big deal. I think everyone does living or traveling abroad. I didn't necessarily feel 100% comfortable running. So in my mind, I lost this 80 pounds. I go over there thinking I'm going to join a gym, and gyms were like $250 a month. So that wasn't going to happen. And I was like, well, people talk about this nutrition thing, so we'll give that a go. So I probably lost another 60
COVID.
pounds. Oof, yikes.
Just changing diet.
Just changing diet, and I was there for a year. And I remember when I came back, and I was like, what if I do both? So my most that I lost was 175 pounds. So I was 350. I lost half of myself, and then have fluctuated since.
Did you have, when I met you, you were probably 175, 180, I think. I think you were, no?
No, I was 190s, 200. So I was about 25 pounds less than that. I was
Okay, all right.
so in the spirit of the musician that practices so hard. I spent a year and a half or so of my life of lose weight. So I didn't really know where the bottom was. That's just what it was. So I got too thin, and my body, your body's always going to bounce back. They say with every big, people have large weight loss stories. Your body, and right now I'm experiencing that. I'm up more than I want to be. I know where my sweet spot is, and to think that less than a third of my life, because I'm 19, but I'm 34, and I probably maybe 10 years of my life, I've actually even thought about fitness and nutrition. So my body is like super happy with being chunky. Like it wants that. So anyways,
That's learning anything from Vulcan over here.
you're right.
The biggest thing that I have learned, I was very, and Mike will tell you, I did a lot of miles per week, everything.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started going to see Mike, I was not very physically strong.
Mm.
So I could run. I'd done hundreds, but I couldn't pick shit up.
Mm-hmm.
I went from like I don't know. I mean, because in my biggest, when I retired from the military, I drank a lot of beer, ate a lot of shit, and I decided I wasn't doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been running for 20 fucking years. Done.
Mm-hmm.
I went up to like 190, going up the stairs to go to bed. I was like, we at 4? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Going and seeing him, I went down probably lower than I should. I'm back up to probably 150 now, and I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to realize, probably like you, 146. I'm not going to have 19-year-old abs. I'm not going to have abs anymore. I'm not going to have. I drink way too much beer and eat like a drunk 12-year-old most of the time because I am.
You drink?
I
Drunk?
tried today.
Uh,
We're seeing what happens.
okay.
Yesterday?
Yesterday didn't count. Yeah, yesterday was an experiment, so I don't really count. Like today's my first day of like giving it a shot.
Okay.
This drinking thing.
Yes.
Oh,
It's new.
how's
it
that
is
working
new.
out for you?
Well, I'll let you know.
10 years from now, he'll let you know.
Yeah, I'll give you. I'll
Put it
let
in my
you know.
diary. Oops. Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm out of
But
water.
that's
Oh,
like
no.
that's a good. It's
There
like,
we go.
that's like helpful information for everyone who like to listen. It's like this questions like, "Fuck, I'm fat or I'm skinny
Yes,
or not happy," right?
I'm way.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
right?
Yes.
So if you gotta find the spot you're happy at, and that takes experiments, right? You go up,
Experiments.
You
Exactly.
brother.
It's
Yeah.
one big experiment. Your diet's experiment. Your physical
So
activity.
I needle pulling thread. Sorry, look at my delicious new shoes. I realized, and I suppose that it's the French horn in me. These god awful shoes from
Love
hell.
them.
Don't you love them?
Yes.
That
Mhm.
I am so. You're welcome. I am so goal oriented because I look at a piece of music and I'm like, I can quantify it. If I can play that, when I play that with that orchestra, I receive a check. And Chase Visa is really going to enjoy that from my Mazda, right? Like I do this happens, and that I get to go to Popeyes, which it's the whole thing. We can get on that later.
You can't talk about.
Thank you
Popeye.
for that.
That's some,
I feel like powder over here. Jesus.
feel like powder.
But yeah,
Are you
I've
melting?
become so. As children, with music, particularly, we're goal oriented. You do it sometimes to a detriment, which we can get on at some point. But you have to work to. I have friends that have to work, and as I speak in front of a professional, to keep at a certain weight, to keep up at a certain weight, to keep that. Mine, I have to work hard to keep it down to where I want to be. And I'm certain that there are way more books about it than I care to read. But I've just realized that I want to do the things that I want to do. And so I do that to facilitate that. And I think if I try to keep it as simple as that, just kind of follow how my body feels.
Then you can do that.
Yeah.
And that has kind of led you into. That has kind of led you
The water's a
into
little fizzy.
into the cooking realm as
Mm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So you have learned that yes, he is phenomenal cook. If y'all would ever,
Wednesday night lights.
Yes,
he brings snacks.
that's what I was getting.
I mean,
His
just,
snacks.
Yeah.
So for all of you, 4,627,000
views. Yes.
One this big old
Four.
snack.
It's for.
The big snack right there. Yeah.
If you want to enjoy that and you live in a 19-hour radius of
Exactly.
Birmingham,
Yes.
Wednesday nights,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, Oak Mountain State Park. This man, we run, and this man brings food. I'm telling you right now, it is life-changing.
Could be.
You leave a better person.
Mm.
You are nicer to your family.
Mhm.
You wake up the next day and you tell your coworkers you love them. Almost. I mean, it's
It's
that
possible.
good.
It's
It's
very
that
possible.
good. So
You might even slap the preacher.
you might be able to
Again?
look. this ain't personal,
But
but
seconds.
look
get out of the way.
right there. Yeah,
you're
you were in the way,
yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
So the food was there. Part of your journey with the weight loss and all that has led into you cooking.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Croy on Facebook, he does do cooking videos, training videos, makes the best ranch and honey mustard.
Very recent. Like very recent.
Very recent.
This-
Go
this-
check it
this
out.
Week,
Jonathan
it's
Croy, ranch, honey mustard. So you didn't just, you took the mindset and I'm not just going to go buy diet or whatever somebody recommends is the best stuff.
Right.
You're going to learn, if I buy the ingredients, I can make this at home. And I won't have a bottle of ranch in the fridge. I can say, we're having this for dinner. Boom, boom, boom. I can make, and we have ranch for one dinner.
Mhm.
It saves. It's cost effective, and it's probably better for you.
Yeah.
What brought you over into the? Have you always loved cooking?
Yes. Whole family as little kid, and so fortunate of the parenting that I had. My mother would put that pressure on us of, what are you cooking tonight? And I was probably 11 years old. And I remember driving in, she was a teacher. She's, like I said, my band director. And she would say, all right, John, what are you cooking tonight? And I would have to think. And the thought of cooking, and you as adults, like, no, oh crap, I got to go to the store. I got to get this, and this. So when you're asking a kid, which is just that critical thinking is ultimately what it was.
Mhm.
Well, I want to make this. Well, do we have the supplies? Yeah, actually, I saw that. Great. What else do we need? Well, I think we need this and this. Fantastic. So I took that ownership. Moving on down the road, at the end of my undergrad, I started realizing that I love cooking. I love cooking. I think it's the community. It's my love language. So Wednesday night started out with, I love cooking for people. It makes me happy. For me to spend $15 and for a room of people to be smiling and, you know, and leave with a full stomach is
including
It's rewarding for you.
yeah, that people have their different things. So, but in undergrad, I realized that I would cook. And there was at some point I couldn't like tell you the meal that had happened, but a couple people came over and someone who had probably a good upbringing was like, let me give you some money. I know it's fine. Dude, let me give you $10. And I was like, I don't think I spent $20 on all of that we're eating. And there's like 4 or 5. And then everyone was like, well, this is way cheaper than me going out to eat. It's $10. And so I started kind of doing this dinner club where I would just, because we had cell phones that would flip. They didn't, these bad boys didn't exist
The
yet.
screen,
But
look, people, the screen was like that big.
let me tell you something real quick. Tangent driving and the pad, and you could type. I could the freaking Magna Carta off to the side, and I
No
knew the
way.
numbers and
Like,
everything.
555 1 2 2
Yeah.
3 1 2 3 4
I had
4
it. I
5.
was down.
Hey,
I was on it. So I would, I'd blast everybody with, hey guys, cooking tonight. If you want to bring $10, I'd have $30, $40 in it. 10 people over. So I had a solid profit, and it was just cash, and it was way cheaper on their end. So I started, because I'm always an entrepreneur. I'm like, I'm gonna make a buck. Furniture, but
We're gonna go into that. We're gonna go into that too.
We
Yes,
don't
yeah.
need to introduce Jonathan to any cocaine smugglers.
let me tell you something real quick. I don't know if I can talk.
I
would
Depends on
never-
how much I got into it. But
I would
anyway.
never do it, and I would never sell it. But in a fantasy world, I would make a lot of money. So
Never
yeah,
end
that's.
well,
But
though. Never
I
end
had roommates from. The cool thing about playing in an orchestra is that there might be 20 nationalities, and so everybody's got grandma's recipe from somewhere. So my next door neighbors in Jordan were Taiwanese and Korean, and here comes Bubba Gump, and it's let's make it work, and we cooked all the time, and we were
gogi and kimchi, and I bet, oh my god,
and so it was really fun because I teach children. I love that, like, problem solving. I guess that's just the whole music mindset. We'd want to cook something. We do this, and between the three of us, we'd problem solve it from our different cultural heritage.
See, that's
which is
so awesome.
such a
Yeah.
cool. And we didn't realize it when it was happening.
but
It wasn't
looking
until
back
hindsight,
on it.
yeah.
But looking back on it,
Hey, did you keep up with those people at all?
On the face space, I do. It's been a while.
On the
but I
Instagram,
should, on the
Facebook
Instagram,
thing,
I should
on
probably-
Instagram.
Chihao, Eugene, hello. So
But that's see,
honestly,
See, that's a good use of
that's
social media.
absolutely, and that's what
Just-
the world's about. And see, that's why we were having that conversation earlier. That's what the world's about. You have great experiences because you were open-minded, driven. You met people in a mod. If you'd have been, I'm not living there. I'm not doing it. You wouldn't have that.
I'm Billy Badass American.
Yeah, and I
can't
just-
talk to
oh,
this guy.
God
No.
damn it. You came back. You've been here. and one of the loves that you found
Mm.
through all the stuff, you also take the artistic side of your brain and take old pieces of furniture, much like a lot of people
like
do,
BC, old piece
and
of furniture.
old piece of furniture, but you make it beautiful again. Just like when he met me, old piece of furniture, now I'm beautiful again. I could never, I've told you, my mind does not work that way.
Yeah.
Hey, that's an old dresser. We can get drunk and burn it.
Right.
Not gonna lie to y'all.
Possible.
We can drunk and burn it, but you're like, no, I can make that beautiful. The thing that comes to the forefront of my mind instantaneously is I believe she was 3 or 4. I could be wrong.
Caroline.
The pink.
The pink dress, that I watched that video like 4 times because that little girl came in and was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
that's mine.
Yeah.
So go to John. He's got it on there.
John had to pull that chick up and put it in his pocket real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are friends of mine. Yeah. I love that.
It doesn't. It
Sweet
what
Caroline.
what
Still
what
got that power.
what led you down that road? What even inspired you to start doing that?
The COVID.
Yeah. I lost everything overnight. I lost everything in a blink of an eye.
No,
So, orchestras-
no lesson, no orchestras, no.
Everything shut down overnight.
Because you can teach so well online music, right?
Yeah. I teach. So, in fairness, I have a few students that I do like Zoom stuff with.
Yeah.
A few, but like it's not at all sustainable. Every orchestra that I play with, and every school that I teach at, because I'm contract with the schools, I'm contract with the orchestras, and they have acts of God clauses and everything. And
Force du jour.
yeah, plot twist. So
2020.
I
welcome.
think there's a term that I like to use called American exceptionalism. And the exceptionalism in me thought that COVID's just going to let's be real. Like 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to be back to normal. And so I remember I've always been artsy fartsy. As I say, idiot
No.
savant, probably more idiot, less savant. But I've always been. That's how my brain works. I wish I could explain it. I so wish I could. And if there is somebody that works for Disney, let me tell you, I was watching a little documentary.
Sponsorship opportunity.
And don't sue
Love
me
you.
if you are. If you
I
do
go
work-
every fucking year. Well,
Yeah.
y'all close this year.
Yeah,
Love you.
If you do work for Disney, y'all gonna sue me. Then don't. I ain't got money for you. But I was watching a documentary last night, and like they just need people in the room that can just like problem solve stuff and like just bring like this creative spin. And I just want you to hire me because I want that Disney money. Anyways, I guess I just see as far as like colors and if you look at my furniture that I'm doing, I do a lot of restoration. It's all a progress, an evolution, if you will.
Yeah.
So I'm finding a piece of furniture for X, on the cheap, and then I flip it. Okay, fine. But actually what I'm finding is that people have really good bone furniture that they've inherited. You can't zip on down to Restoration Hardware and drop 20 grand on a new room of what you want it to look like from the Pinterest page. But I can kind of help facilitate some of that on relatively on the cheap in comparison.
And, yeah, compared to that.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's something that I spend more time on YouTube at like 1 a.m. looking at things and like trying to figure it out.
Browser history. Oh, that's
Delete
for
it
that.
too.
That's for that one.
That's an interesting point because this ties into a lot of things. Like you got talent, right?
Mhm.
Something that comes with it. You got that,
Yeah,
Naturally,
whatever
yeah,
that is,
naturally.
yeah.
but that talent also has to have like study and hard work, right?
Yes.
Whether you're running or doing these things, like, well,
Yes.
how do they get that on there, right?
French horn,
What's
running,
the technique
whatever.
to do that,
yes.
right? And you got to be committed to perfecting that technique too, right? It's
Yes.
not like you go, oh,
Yeah.
And the first time you do it, it's like,
that looks like
the next
shit.
time it's like, oh wow, look, hey, I'm gonna practice this.
Well,
I'm gonna
So
keep
it's def-
doing
it's-
this.
It's definitely learning, but I've seen the pieces of furniture.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. what is your? You have to have some kind of inspiration. There's something that drives you because
we're fucked. He's got it. We don't.
I know
Like,
there's a theme, but there is a theme in your head.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bullshit.
Yeah.
I can look if you line your pieces up. I can see a theme.
Yeah. So
I can. So
I think I play out at needle drinking beer.
yeah,
I believe that everything that I do, I play out some fantasy. I guess I'm just kind of realizing this now. I'm going to call you Dr. Phil. I play out this fantasy of what does it look like to be all the way down that road. Dr. Phil. But
I like that, Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but with furniture, it's like, what does it look like if I'm at the height of that field? Trail running, what does it look like if I'm the pinnacle French horn? What does that look like? I ain't got to tell anybody about what I think about it, but I can play that out. And I will say this, I use these words lightly but strongly. That no, I'm smart enough to look back and watch. And I think it's because I'm the youngest child. Because I looked at my brother and sister and I was like, that didn't work. You're going to get in trouble for that. That didn't work either.
Look back and watch. That's a great statement.
that's great. Look back and watch.
So I guess a dream, if you will, of like the furniture thing. I did one piece that was inspired by this Picasso because that made sense to me. That seems completely logical that this large wine cap that would look like this 1916 Picasso. And so I have a series of furniture in mind that I want to do, like Girl with a Pearl Earring. I actually am making a new piece I haven't told anybody about, but it's going to be just now.
Like 3 or 4.
For sale.
But it's going to be inspired by
people next week
the painting of Girl with a Pearl Earring.
So,
yeah.
I was sitting here thinking you might be the Joanna Gaines of Birmingham, but no, you're too thug for that. I think you're the Martha Stewart of Birmingham because Martha hangs out with Snoop, done a little time.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think you're harder than
I would
Joanna
do.
Gaines.
I would do.
the full picture. So I think that you got a little bit of jump, but I think you are the Martha. I think that you can.
I would do really well in like Martha Stewart prison. Like I would,
yeah.
I'd thrive.
Dude, you hear that like was a comedy serial thing? Said, look, I'm saying with you, like you gangsters. I'm the only person who's done.
I'm
not even fucking time.
I love Snoop.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to steer it back a little bit different direction.
Come on, bring it up.
Your the artistic side of you, we have already kind of addressed. I mean, you can't be told no, and you will do whatever it takes to be successful on that side. It doesn't matter if French horn, if it's furniture,
just ultra running,
you've embraced it. Coming back to kind of for us,
yeah,
and especially some of that's near and dear in my heart because I am not artistic. I wish it is probably one of the things in my life that I wish I was.
Ugly too.
But when we talk about running, that's I can relate to that very much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be selfish and steer you back that way. I hope you don't mind.
Let's come on. I love it.
What brought you
Igni.
into that realm? When you were 350 and you decided I'm going to put one foot in front of the other.
Right.
There has to be something that says, I can do that.
Something shiny. Possible.
How did you find out about ultras? When I first started this, I had no clue that people ran ultra marathons. I all the Boston Marathon. Wow, that's amazing. And then I started meeting people. I met Mike House. I met these people in
House Family Fitness. Plug for herself.
Yeah, the running community, and I learned about Pinhoti, and I was like, "You fucking kidding me?"
Mm-hmm.
Language. Fucking joking with me.
Oh, fucking joking.
Nah.
When you came over into this realm
and
you brought your mentality from that world,
right?
What kept you going? What got you up every day to go? I'm gonna go for a run. Or I'm gonna do this. Was it just the love? Did you find a passion? Was it the getting out and going? For me, run with these guys. Jack will tell you, I'll stop Tangier warbler. I'm a bird guy.
Yeah.
Love birds. Stop in the middle of fucking trail. That's pretty. That's pretty. You know,
Do you
They-
see that? No.
Nope.
no, Jalen be like, I didn't fucking stop. Come here. Look at that.
Try not to run on a snake. Like,
Yeah.
that is me.
That
about
is,
that, yeah.
but that is what keeps me going.
Yeah.
I love being out there.
Yeah.
What kept you getting up every morning and pursuing?
That.
That.
I had always done road stuff. So at my fastest, I have a sub 17 5K.
Hush
I
your
was
mouth.
Wow, I was boogie.
How
yeah.
old were you at a sub 17 5K?
That was probably 5 or 6 years ago. It's not that long ago.
Holy shit.
Then I found hamburgers. So yeah,
And margaritas.
But sub 17, fuck, man.
I
I know it's long distance, but shit.
I was
Yeah.
boogieing.
Love
You
you.
okay? Yeah.
No.
Good. I'll
What are
speak
you
louder
doing?
for the audience in the back?
What are you doing?
You know what I'm doing.
He's looking at birds.
He's trying to find the warbler.
Trying to get
I
in the frame, right? So we can-
right, because then that would be the whole other rating system.
Think
It looks like
he might be over there. I don't know.
Patch on the damn tire. Like,
Yeah, but we do have for Lauren. We have to show the Sunday smoke. It's called Sunday smoke because I'm smoking my lunch prep.
And it smells so good.
It's pecan. This thing. Oh, no, smoke well. I mean,
No, for
good
like
heat.
fireplace.
Yeah, I know. I do fake fireplace.
I just had to check on something.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Well, you were on
The
video.
tire
It's
pressure.
okay.
I don't care.
I ran my first trail race in 2018. It was the Memorial Day.
No, really?
Yeah,
18?
yeah.
2 years ago?
2 years ago.
You shitting me?
No, it's a really funny story. So I had just gotten back from an ex with an ex straight from hell. This person, that's another podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, I'd gotten back and we went out to the West Coast and we saw the national parks and did everything, which is always wanted to do. So Grand Canyon, Zion, did Angel's Landing, the whole thing. You know, that skinny and emaciated picture of me that, you know, that was Zion. Came back and it was Memorial Day and I walked into Mountain High Outfitters and I saw the station. They're like, hey guys, we have a race tomorrow morning. And I was like, what kind of race? And they're like, it's the Memorial Day race at Oak Mountain. I was like, that's funny. I live pretty close to there. Y'all doing like, can I
Did
sign up?
Sam Barty like sign
Sam
you up?
Sam
Barty.
Barty did
Yeah,
sign me
yeah.
up.
Sam, love
Barty.
Yeah, Sam Barty and Jeff
Sacha,
Estes were there.
Yeah.
it was Sacha
No.
or
Oh,
Jeff.
yeah, no,
2
it
years
was
ago.
Sacha.
It
Yeah,
was Sacha,
no
Jeff,
doubt,
Sacha,
yeah.
and Mary Jo.
Um,
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure it was Mary Jo too. So they were all there and they're like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, we don't have t-shirts, but you can sign up. I was like, here, take my money. So I showed up and a couple of friends of mine were there and they're like, and at that point I was, you know, a little Speedy Gonzalez, but I'd been kind of tapering off running because I was doing a lot more cycling at that time. And they came up to me and they're like, you're fast. I'm like, I'm so out of my threat. Like I'm used to road races and everything. My first ever trail race. And they're like, no, you're fast. I'm like, cool. I have what it means. And they're like, you want to get at the front of the pack because it's that BMX at Oak Mountain. If y'all don't know, it loops around and then goes. So I was like, okay, get at the front of the pack. And so I go and I had literally no idea what I'm getting myself into. But all of a sudden I'm like, okay, fine. So I take off and I think I was top 10 on Memorial Day race. And they come through, they're like, good job. And I'm like, why aren't this fool's already grilling? And I don't know what's going on. And
he's
so
like, oh.
I remember at that point being like, this is the sadist, and this is hard.
Mm.
This is really hard. And I guess that's the French horn in me is like, but this is weirdly gratifying. And I love being outside. And I also think that I'm kind of like, you know, picking up what I didn't have. I didn't grow up in an athletic family or anything like that. So now I'm like, everything's outside. So that's how it got going was that very first race. Was the very first
2018. Wow.
18. And then You know, I just
Here you
finished a
are.
50K.
I don't want to be
Well, that's
Debbie Downer, but I got a contrarian question.
Yes.
Do you love and do anything that you suck at?
Oh yeah. I feel like I suck at trail running. Like I feel like I suck. And no, that's
the question, because that's like sometimes some people, like I would expect someone like him excels at so many things. Like, I can't drop my standard down for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
right?
and I'm not doing this because
Yeah.
I don't fucking.
I
yeah,
suck
can't
at
do it.
standardized testing, but I don't have to take that.
He
So
doesn't,
it's
have, he doesn't have to do that anymore. He's past that. Yes.
But it's like, it's cool. It's like, I'm always refreshed by people who like jump out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna suck at this forever, but this is cool.
I feel like in proximity of like really great runners, like here and like in my life, I feel like I'm on the coattails of others and just kind of going and doing. So that's my, I guess it's all perspective. Like
Yeah.
You can't be. Yeah, can't be.
So, have you had any struggles on the trails?
yes.
I mean, because are we gonna bring it up?
Yeah, can we? Okay,
Let's do it.
Okay.
So, not say. Go ahead. If you want to do it, or I can do it.
No, no. Just look. Jonathan's gay.
I'm gay.
Okay.
He's a happy guy, man.
I mean, he's a happy guy.
Yep.
And that bothers some people.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But has that presented an issue for you in the trail community, or in the trail community?
In the trail community. So to answer that question, I also have to respond with I acknowledge it that I'm like a force of a person as well.
Well, yeah.
So I lean into uncomfortable situations. Have I ever been uncomfortable with some people? Yes,
Okay.
I absolutely have. And I am also can sometimes be a tender-hearted person. So if it's not sometimes,
No,
I'm
you're
very-
that way. That's
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
love. I'm
Man.
incredibly tender-hearted. So I straight up get my feelings hurt, especially when I really love and respect somebody. There are people that speak of with ignorance.
With ignorance.
With-
Not of ignorance. Yes.
Yes, there are
Great,
people
great,
that speak with ignorance, and so and I'll hear contrary comments and not great vocabulary. And prior to this, we were kind of talking about like growing up where we did, and you start turning on deaf ears because it's like I don't agree with that. I don't say that, but just I hear it so much, I'm just going to shut my ears off. And right now we're in a place in the world where it's like, no, it's okay to be like that is not appropriate. That is not appropriate, and it doesn't mean I dislike you. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person.
Thank you for that. Yes.
But it does mean that now knowledge is power. So shut it down, because now there's no room for that. You have been educated, and we can do that. I think part of just like my life is like this constant education. Like I want to be educated. I want to learn. I want to be respectful. I will not always be right. I teach students that are on the spectrum.
Will not
And-
always be right.
But I usually am.
Not always right.
No.
Thought it was wrong,
Yeah,
Yeah.
thought I was wrong. Felt just like this, but nope.
I had a student, come out to me as being non-binary, and when they told me that, I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, I
Well,
learned that this past year.
Yeah. I didn't know, and I think there's a vulnerability there. No, I don't think. Be careful of people that speak in absolutes, but I'm going to speak in absolutes.
Yes.
I know that vulnerability is where I think we societally need to be. If we are just open about conversation, and then when I went and looked up, like, what is non-binary, and I saw that, and thank God, it was like the first video that popped up, and it was explaining, and it was the relationship of, I think, between like a parent and their child, and the parent said, and the child said, like, preface with and say, like, I'm going to do my best. Like, I want you to know that I'm here to do my best. I will probably drop the ball, and it's not intentional, but I'm going to do the best that I can do. And so that vulnerability, I think, is how, is how we progress.
It is elaborating on that, and I know it's live, and you can turn me off in a heartbeat. When your parents were they open? Were they when you came out? Was it that scenario? Was it
So
we love you? There's no.
my
I hope you don't mind me asking. I really don't want to put you on the
it's
spot.
no, it's absolutely fine because I think it's okay to be in a place of vulnerability. And my coming out story was I was in the hospital.
I've heard the story, so I know.
They thought I was having a stroke, and this was only a few years ago. I guess less than 4 years ago. They thought I was having an absolute
what?
stroke. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
See, this is why, because even Jack now is like, what
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, just let him talk.
Well,
I've
I
heard
am-
the story because
I
we've
am
had
a-
we've worked out together at the gym,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like we've had some like
House family
quality
fitness.
conversations.
So
Yes. That's another benefit of fitness is quality conversation.
quality
Yep.
conversation. You just talk
Yep.
it through. I was in a very, very, very toxic relationship, and I thought I was having a stroke one day. And this person that I was with at the time literally dropped me off at the hospital and left. Like, best of luck. You can't feel the side of your body. I blacked out. It was a horrible experience, and come to find out, it was anxiety. Like, anxiety will kill you, and
Stress will
Yeah,
kill
it
you.
will. It will literally kill you. I was driving when it happened, and I thought my brakes were out because I couldn't feel them, and it was my body shutting down. And so my stepmother, she put the pieces together. I don't know if my other family had just chosen not to put the pieces together or whatever. But anyways, this person was thankful. I suppose I was thankful enough they at least made a phone call to my family member before they pieced out. And she called my mom and she said, Jonathan's in the hospital. They don't know what's going on. This doesn't look good. He is gay. His boyfriend will probably be there. You need to get over it. That's how she told me how the conversation went.
Okay.
And which is, if I know my stepmother well enough, is exactly how it went. And kind of my perspective is like, I don't have children, like from me, right? But from my mother, you know, and all of my parents is. There's nothing greater than a parent's love. There's literally nothing. One
Right.
and so I don't know what the adverse would be, but I do know that my mother and all of my parents were faced with, get over it. He might be dying. He might have had a stroke. They can't figure out what's going on. So whatever you got walking in this hospital, whatever baggage you have, you got to let that go because this might be it. And I think for me and for my family, that was the Band-Aid that needed to be ripped off. Was it literally doesn't matter.
It doesn't make
Yeah,
a
it's
flying
like-
fuck.
yeah.
It really
doesn't-
does. Do you love this person? Yes.
Cool. What's for dinner? It
Yeah, exactly.
doesn't-
Yes. Doesn't fucking make a difference.
So my friend Christy is one of my favorite people on this planet, and I was talking to her about all this, and she was like,
I won't
"Think
take
about
that
how."
personally.
Please don't. No, she is. If y'all met her, you'd be like, she's one of my favorite people on this planet. And
She lives
was-
close. Can we get her here?
I bet she doesn't live close, but I bet we can get her close to here. But she said, imagine if people had to come up to the parents as straight, like, Mom, you know, if I'm a straight man, like, I like girls. And what would your mother say? Be like, okay. Yes. Like, why is it
I
not there?
agree
Why
with
is
you.
it- why is it-
I agree
why is
with
it
you,
a
Falcon.
big
It's like-
deal?
it's- I like girls. Oh my
So
god.
like, Jonathan, your parents were in like the arts.
Yes.
It seemed to me like that timeline is seriously suppressed. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up in the 70s. I had friends who were gay. I knew people were gay. People were coming out then too. It was like, I don't know, it's like there was something in Alabama where it's like got pushed back or something.
People are. I guess they feel. Do they feel afraid to
Yeah.
come out? I mean, they feel like, oh my gosh, because we're in the Bible Belt.
We are in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bible Belt.
Okay.
Is that true?
And I'm going to chase a little bit because we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
The company I work for, even though I live here in Alabama, the company I work for is stationed in Pennsylvania.
Mm.
That's the headquarters.
Right.
And inclusion is something that here you
100%.
go.
Yeah.
So that's the mindset I come in. Even though I did 20 years in the military.
Yeah.
Everybody know don't send me shit. Everybody knows I didn't make the goddamn rules. Don't ask, don't tell. All that
Yeah.
stuff was in play.
But
I-
you're in the military. You're in the military. That's the way it's
Right.
always.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yes. So, but all the don't ask, don't tell. When you got down into the field, none of us gave a flying fuck. I don't care what. I don't care your religious beliefs. I don't give a shit.
You're innie or outie. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to me.
It's about that important.
Hey,
Right? Yeah.
that needs to be. We need.
Yeah.
You and I need to get this and this done.
Yeah.
And it gets done.
Yeah.
Love you. Period.
Yeah.
We didn't give a fuck.
But John, I asked a fucked up question. So, what, what? I would have thought you and your family would have had a discussion earlier.
Yeah.
So what delayed that?
So the
Right.
growing up in as a self-proclaimed recovering Southern Baptist, and that's not to shade Southern Baptists because I know some amazing Southern Baptists. So you're getting on my personal beliefs. I do believe that a lot of religion, as it were, it's become something that I don't believe it ever intended to get. I think it's a lot more superstitious than anything. It is a lot more being seen at church instead of following the practices of church.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I'm with you, bud.
and so as I tell people, I ain't got a problem with Jesus. I got a problem with God. We're good. I have a huge problem with the church. And people wonder why the church isn't hiding it, and it's not
It
doing
isn't,
well. It's not doing well because it's going into different subsects, and it's who's comfortable with what just in their area,
in their realm. And we've
in their
had
radius.
that,
Yeah,
right. We've had that conversation too, because when I got married down in Florida, that preacher was hellfire brimstone.
Mhm.
You didn't drink. You didn't have a cigar when you were golfing. Oh no. This man, and I love him. I won't say his name,
But you still love him.
I love him, but I remember having a conversation with him, and he said, if I get to heaven and they say I could have had a cigar while playing golf, he goes, I'm whooping somebody.
Is
But
my-
he didn't
is my
have a-
sin worse than your sin.
He didn't have a cigar because of the way he believed.
right.
I got to Montgomery, and when we started going to a different church, it went from Baptist to Methodist.
Mhm.
And every single one of those people had my mentality. We sat at the pool together. We prayed. We drank.
Mhm.
It's different.
Yeah.
Very, you know what? Oh, okay. I don't care. Why are you not here?
Yeah.
I don't understand why you're not coming through the doors.
Right.
I fell in love with those people.
Yeah.
They wanted everybody to come in because if you y'all correct me,
We will.
I will.
it just says
Don't you worry.
it just says Jesus just says not it. If you believe in me,
Mhm.
right? I don't think there's any
No, it's-
look, if you believe in me, hold on.
Mhm.
You can't be this.
Yeah.
You really can't feel this way.
Mhm.
Do you drink?
Mm.
I know you believe in me, brother, but we were almost there.
Right.
It doesn't say that. It says
Do
if you believe in me.
love the other person.
Right.
That's it. Period. That's it.
And I
So-
know we told you this.
No, I love this. I
We told you
love
this.
this.
We
rabbit
told
we're
you
chasing.
this.
It's a beautiful rabbit.
Our
No.
rudder is off screen. It brings us back.
No, I feel like he's nudging us down this road, which I'm great about. No, as I tell people, when you think about your Sunday school experience, if you don't know what Sunday school is, all 4 million of y'all watching and listening,
Yeah.
is where they put you in a room
3 million.
and
It's down to 3 million.
it's down 3 million. Well, and they put you in a room and they
It's
tell
me,
you about
not you.
They're cooking. They're cooking.
well, they tell you about how good everything has to give and do, and then I'm like, as an adult, you got to freaking pony up. Nope, I'm not comfortable with giving my shirt off my back, right? Like that type thing. So I agree. It's love, just literally love people. What does it?
I don't have to agree with you to love you.
So
I tell people all the time, the guys I work with, I travel extensively with my position.
Mhm.
I am one of those people. If I'm not so when we travel, I don't sit in a hotel.
Mhm.
I can't. It drives me
Yeah.
batshit.
He starts watching porn.
Drives
No,
me batshit.
That's when he gets
But,
back from going.
But I will go to. I will try. I will go to TJ Maxx. I'll find an outdoor mall. Doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm not sitting in a hotel room. TJ Maxx, Ross. Love you guys.
Duke's mayonnaise coming for you.
I will not sit in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And if you and I travel together, I will open the door and hold the door for anyone and everyone. And I smile and say, "How are you doing?"
That's your love language, right?
But I had a guy ask me one day, and he goes, "Why do you do that?" I said, "Because it cost me $0 to not be an asshole.
Mhm.
Cost me nothing."
Mm-hmm.
And that individual that I said, "How you doing today?" That could have been the best words that person heard.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
So that's why I cook on Wednesdays, right? Like I literally a few dollars, which it just is what it is, and you never know. You never know who is in your radius. You never know what day there is. You know, like I do believe one of the great things that the church teaches us is like just this grace. Just offer grace to people.
That's it.
Just why not? Like it's exhausting to be an ass. Like it's like to be in a bad mood. Like it will wear you out. Yeah. And like, you know, I teach kids and they walk in, they're mad, and it's like 7:45 a.m. And I'm like, you just got to be like waking up and just being mad. And I'm like, what?
That's
So,
hysterical to me.
Yeah, it's got to be exhausting.
Yeah.
So one of the kind of
Well, they could use that other ways, right?
right, absolutely. So one of the things that we were talking about, like
Hi.
kind of back,
Hi, I'm back. The tree is good.
about inclusion and all of this. So to link my worlds,
Okay.
there's a very famous orchestra called the called the Vienna Philharmonic, and
Drop
it's
the name.
in Vienna.
Just dropping names.
And for years
Hold on,
and
hold on.
years,
Powder, are you good? Do we need to shift?
well, no, I'm good for now. Actually, that would be lovely.
IT.
Let's go, baby.
It's the pool boy.
Got that over there.
I'll sit down.
And for anybody suffering with albinism, that was, please find no offense. It's hot. So the
Fucking
end.
Alabama
Oh.
summertime, baby. It's like
Alabama summer.
Well, don't give our location away.
It is hotter than
Oh.
Satan's taint right now. It is so hot.
Wow.
Wow,
this
that
is
taint.
standard, like
Yeah,
fucking
it's just
June
thick.
Fair, right?
It
Yeah,
is
like
thick.
3,
Thank you.
2, 1 thunderstorm.
I was praying for one at 10 o'clock today, and it didn't happen.
We
That's right. Off topic. Yep.
But yeah, all.
back here.
So now I'm gonna tie it back in.
Bring it in, Coach.
You have, since a young age,
Mm.
mentally said, "You cannot tell me you can't do that,"
Basically, yeah.
and then you will. You hated it. You stuck with it,
Mhm.
and you proved people that I can be one of the best.
This is hard. I'm gonna do it.
But you position the correct word.
Well, he didn't know he was going to be the best, but he kept at it.
But that's
He
what I'm
got
saying.
there. He got
He
there,
kept
right?
at and then you reached a level that people aspire to reach. But you busted your ass to get there.
You have to wear something. Well,
But then you took what you did and you said, I busted my ass to get here, but you didn't take it for granted.
Mm.
Not only did you travel overseas in numerous locations, you can name people that you were next to, with,
Mm.
and things that they taught you.
Mhm.
And you came back to Alabama.
Yeah.
You brought that education and that mentality with you. You started pursuing a fitness lifestyle.
Yeah.
You went from an overweight individual, morbidly obese, if you want to use your term,
he was.
The doctor
Okay.
said,
and you took that same mentality to that you lost a ton of weight. You continuously on a weekly basis run. Now you love it. Now we're not saying that any individual is going to pick up running and go, this is great.
Right.
Some people hate running. They hate it. Take your dog out for a walk. Take your wife out. Take your kids. Just go walk. Fuck, you just go walk. You don't have to walk your neighborhood. Go to Walmart. That's a 1 million square foot building.
Be a mall
Set
walker.
Be a mall walker.
Shop,
Or
yeah.
set a goal.
You
I'm going to go buy my groceries at Walmart
Mm.
Super Center. But I'm going to walk every aisle before I get to the grocery section.
Mhm.
I'm going to go to the household side and the lawn and garden. I'm going to walk that whole I
If
guarantee
you're
you'll
like
get
me, if I need something from Walmart, I gotta get something over here. I think, yep, it's over there. It's a
But
quarter
you'll
mile
get-
away. Yeah.
but you'll get 2 miles worth of walking, guarantee.
So
But
that's-
you're in air conditioning, you're moving. I'm very
come on,
passionate
Rudder.
about
rudder.
I'm
Yeah,
very
I thought
passionate
you-
about individuals getting up and just moving.
So let me tell you this: virtual races, COVID has brought out the best and the worst in people.
Yeah.
So let me
The
tell
COVID.
the COVID.
The
But
yeah.
let me
So-
tell you this: get up on the run, sign up. Take you about $20 if you have never thought about moving your feet in rapid succession in front of you, and you can find a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, which is
Or
literally.
5,000 acres.
I mean,
Either way.
you are already walking half of that a day. Oh yes, please.
He's
and-
water. Yes.
You see daisies. Mhm.
Colorado water.
And
Mountain
take
High.
your $20 and find the
good.
prettiest.
$20 is $20.
I'm good.
Yeah, right. Find the
I'm actually
prettiest
I'm
dang
good, really.
metal. Find the prettiest dang metal you can find. If that's what's gonna make you happy with a Dab Lame t-shirt, and then go from there.
Yeah.
$20, and you can have like if that's
Just
what it is
do
for you.
something.
Well, I think there's some people
Just
that
do it.
Well, they need a
Slogan?
monetary. They need something at the end, right?
well, so that's yeah. So either just do it or don't. But it's whatever. Know that there are options, right? If you need that inspiration to be like, I get a T-shirt that says I do that. Great, you trained for that. If it took a T-shirt and $20 for you to get down that road, by God, do it.
Do it.
We have belt buckles for 100 miles. What the damn difference is between a T-shirt and a belt buckle? It's the inspiration,
You
right?
Shut your whore mouth.
I
Shut your
know.
mouth.
One holds
Hey,
my
hey.
pants up, and one oh, I'm sorry.
One holds-
Hold on. We'll edit that. No, wow.
There's
I
no
love. Just so
anything.
y'all know, before y'all get pissy, I love him. He knows that's a joke.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
no,
He
that's
doesn't hold
absolutely
his.
true.
I hold his pants up.
Absolutely.
But I mean, but if you think about it, if it's whatever inspires you to do something bigger and greater, that's how you start.
Yeah.
So thank you for raising your hand.
Yes.
Mike,
Can this be just the tip? Because we
Yes.
have to have just the tip.
we have to have just a
Yeah.
tip. So
Yeah,
if
that-
you were going to give the audience just the tip,
Yes,
The Jonathan
I'll give you just
Croy-
the tip.
Jonathan
Whoa,
Croy,
whoa,
just
whoa.
a trip. Oh, here we
We're
go.
getting
Take-
we're getting props out.
take you $30 and sign up for your first 50K or your first 5K or your first 100 or your first at-home
100.
triathlon.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just do whatever you do. It's on the cheap now, relatively speaking, right? So like, just go do it. Whatever
Hey, look.
get you moving.
Just go do it.
Just go
No
do
You
it.
can't come for me,
Trademark.
Nike. You can't come
Yes.
for me.
Do you think that? You want to go?
No, go. That's like a. Because we've seen a lot of shit. That's my.
We have seen a lot of shit, but do you think that? For me personally,
Mm.
if you pay for something,
Mhm.
it's a little more
Skin in the game.
incentive. You,
You got
have
that
some
skin
skin in the game.
Dogs
If
That was-
somebody,
in the fight.
if
Yeah.
somebody says, "Run 10 miles," I dare you. You ain't got no skin in the game.
New lips. You okay?
Moist.
Moist. It's very
You
moist.
have no
Just
skin in the
skins.
game.
Yep.
But if you throw $20 in,
20
$20 is $20.
Really?
That's a tank of gas. That's like
But $20 is
yeah.
$20, baby. I'm just saying.
Yeah, look-
but But you
Bitch,
got
I don't know
skin
what you
in
drive,
the
bitch,
game.
But $20 is nothing for gas. Like, look,
That's my copay.
can you
know what I mean?
can you see the junkyard here?
Yeah.
$20 is nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, so for $47,000, 65
me,
Mustang,
please.
yeah, 65 Mustang sitting in the back. So
no, it's like, I think it's great. It's like you guys are right. Getting like motivation, like being and like myself. If I got money in it, you're not taking my money.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm in,
gonna.
hey.
I'm not just gonna pay
I
you and not do
I
it.
will do something fucking stupid because I gave him money, right?
Yes.
Well,
That was
It doesn't take much either.
that was
Yeah.
that was me in Utah last year. I jacked my back
yeah,
up.
we know, and you
And-
went out there still.
Yeah, and like my doctors, I was like, so like hypothetically, I get up and I'm able to move. They're like, no, and I'm like, okay, but like, is that like a firm no, or is that like a no?
Uh,
Can't get a refund on the flights. Can't get.
Yeah,
Well,
you might
mine
as well
degrees the first morning. It was a stage race. It was about a half marathon on each day. Trail Fest, Grand Circle Trail Fest, huge plug, amazing
sponsorship
sponsorship.
opportunity.
Hey.
They're legit. Like it's one of the best things I've done. But it was 17 degrees. I remember getting out of the car and I fell because my back hurts. For the first half,
Oh.
I got out of the car and fell because I couldn't stand up. I couldn't tie my shoes to bend over because my back was so messed up. And I was like, "Well, that's fine. You're not. I don't see blood. like
No blood, no
I
blood.
didn't-
What did you say?
blood
Yeah.
is bad.
Blood is bad.
That's the blood is bad." And so I literally couldn't tie my shoes, and I was like, "Well, I can do anything for mile or crawl if I have to. That's fine." And it was so cold, I think it froze everything where it needed to be, and I just got moving, and that was it. Which is probably to a detriment.
I was going a different direction because these days I've been out like in like the western cold, which is different than the eastern cold.
Oh my god, so
Way-
different. Yeah,
Way different. 17 sounds like horrible. People are like closing schools here. It's cold there.
But it's not just terrible.
Yeah, it's
this
like-
was like a strong.
And that says a lot for this one.
Oh, yeah,
this one
'cause
with the
it-
sweatshirt on at 70.
Because it's fucking cold at 70.
There's nothing.
I have it's
Language, cool.
cool. I have a long sleeve shirt in the car right
Give
now.
me an
It-
oversized
it
sweatshirt
is-
and shorts.
Almost
In the
July
house?
in Alabama. I have a long sleeve shirt in the car.
You never know. It could be 70 degrees tonight.
But
Bitch, I'm having a long
Yeah, I
sleeve
don't
shirt on.
like it's just point. It's like 17's cold there, but it's not cold for very long because it's
Yeah.
daylight.
Yeah.
Warm quickly.
Alabama cold will envelop you.
Yes. Hurt
It
your
goes
body.
through your core, and when I lived in New York, I woke up one morning, it was -15, and I said, when Fahrenheit starts catching up with Celsius, I'm out. Like that's
Yes,
when
I'm with
toast.
you. I'm with
And,
you. Yes.
and to this day, the coldest I've ever been has been in the South, when it's probably like when it hits like 8 or 9 degrees here. That is, I remember one time I opened the door and went, that's not for me. this ain't it.
I will say this. My point of view is if it's 30 degrees here
Yeah.
and 80% humidity is colder than it
Yeah.
ever fucking gets in Silverton, Colorado.
Yep.
Because you walk outside, you go, oh, my bones hurt, right?
Mhm.
It goes straight through you. I've been
Yeah.
out there like at -10 and go,
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's
Not
that still
terrible.
that humidity. It still is drinks
Yeah,
you with the cold.
Yeah, it's the moisture.
We're just talking about
Moist.
weather now.
It's moist.
Yeah, we have moist.
Can we
We're
all
just,
say
we're just
like,
going
moist.
Moist,
moist.
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 Bravo, man.
All right.
Just it. Yep.
Anything that you would like to say? I mean, we've run a little bit.
We've gone way over, but it's okay.
We ain't way over.
Do
We ain't
what
got no
want,
time
man.
tonight. We do what we want.
Well, actually,
Is there anything that you would like to address, say, or educate people?
We got 6 people you can like get.
yeah, the education of the children. Well, there's one thing that you were talking about when we were just chatting what we were going to discuss
Mhm.
of a self-supported 50K.
Mhm.
And that was a really nice, it was an amazing pressure to have. I told myself prior that I was going to just like taking it low and slow and we'll crock pot this, right? Like just low and slow. I'm not going for style points. Huge shout out to the people, a couple people that helped me with the first
Name
couple
'em.
laps that I did.
Elizabeth, Kai.
Oh, Elizabeth, Kay, John Michael, Janelle, just the people that just like got up and moved with me. And so, in my family, the people that I love and friends and everyone that is, first off, if you're doing self-supported, treat yourself and get a pavilion. I took my $60 and I was like, I'm going to have a place. I'm not going to be out of the back of my car, and I'm going to have a place. And that was hindsight. Like, that was worth every penny plus more, just, a place that is your own. But the pressure of it was having done longer races before, obviously, but having these people that gave up their day, right?
Mhm.
And they push. And it's not this push. It's just like I want to do this for them as well as me. It's at the end of the day, it's 31 miles and like a pair of shoes. Just like move on, get on with it. But versus going to and running an official 50K and some of these amazing point to points and like doing aid station for Pinhoti and Pinnacle, like knowing the amazing amount of work that goes into it. I don't know if I know I would have been as successful. I was asked, do you think you're gonna, I mean, like, I don't want to be rude, but like, are you ready? I'm like, no, but I'm gonna do it. It's just, it is what it is. So to those people that are thinking about an ultra or a 5K, but I can imagine that the mindset is the same.
You're never ready.
No. So he basically, Jonathan just hit on like the 100 mindset. So you're gonna get pacers if you're smart, right?
Yeah.
If you're a badass and done a bunch, you can go do them.
Live your life. Yeah.
If you're doing, you need help.
Mhm.
Bottom line, you're tough. You can do this, but those people that are helping you, you also as a runner feel they've given a crap ton of time to you, right?
Yeah.
Weeks. I had like 7 people come out with me for a week, right?
Yeah.
You had people spend like whatever it is, they've taken significant parts of their time, and you feel I can't let them down, right?
Yeah.
If I let them down, it's like I can't quit.
Yeah.
No, personally, that's sort of the pressure I feel. It makes it worse, right? In some levels.
I was actually
it adds a little bit to you. You're like, I love these people and I can't waste their. You feel like I waste their fucking.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm down. I feel like shit, but I'm not gonna quit because hell,
Yeah.
Mike's
Well,
been
this
here for
guy's
a
gonna
week.
call me a pussy. That's all there is to it.
But he took a week off work. Damn, man, that's not that bad.
Well, but
Let's just keep going.
But but if that's what gets you through it on something like 100 and like freaking low, just casually sitting over in the corner, like just Leadville.
Elevation. What are you doing?
He's checking the PSI.
That is no different, man.
Yeah.
The people that put their time in for you on your 50K that is absolutely not different in any
it's
way
not.
at all.
Well, and
it's exactly the same thing.
Isn't that like the beauty of it though?
It's
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when people gather.
Can you see it over there?
It made me feel like so the end of so I told you I had a funny on the end of the 50K. So
the last of
the last I finished at the end of the trailhead there at Oak Mountain State Park. I'm coming through my little pavilion, and so I'm actually at this point like my mind is good, my body's good, everything's good. I got super crampy because it was like 110 degrees with this humidity. I don't know why I would have cramped. And
Minstrel?
It was actually, but that's
anyway.
So I'm going.
With Johnny Camp.
Yeah, and so there's this amazing family that is at the pavilion that we're usually at on Wednesday night. Like to see you there, and I had seen them on the past previously, and they were having a good time. And like I was like, I need to get up in this family reunion because this is going to be a blast. Now, side note. 14 years ago, the worst food poisoning of my life. I ate catfish. I have never been so sick. I would not wish that on my worst enemy sick. So I get done. It already is reading 31 miles, but I wanted to like just hit this extra little loop, go around the pavilion. And if they're not frying catfish and just like this wet, and think of whatever just you had too much of that, and it's just that your body is like rejects it.
So I'm going whiskey at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I'm
Tequila,
Ooh. So I'm going through, and I'm keeping like a decent pace on this last lap that I'm doing, and I hit that. I'm like, we got to go. And so like off running, they're like freaking like Energizer Bunny. I was like, I'm trying not to vomit everything I've thought about happening, and like crawling on my knees. But I did. So I did. It was funny, and I guess that's like the beauty of life is like nothing is so serious you need to laugh more, because I was getting mildly emotional like coming in because like these people had spent all day, brought some amazing Publix chicken fingers for me, and some Pop-Tarts, and thank you Publix. And so, but that happened, and all of a sudden I'm like trying not to vomit for fish, and so I'm like, just get your ass through, let's go, son, so we can go home and have some pizza. So that was life has a wonderful way like of just being like, check yourself.
Yeah,
it's not that deep.
You thought you were something amazing. Here's some catfish.
I had not got gaggy all day long until like the last 10 seconds.
All right.
So, poll.
The last thing that I have to ask you before we end.
Okay.
Nipple play, yes or no?
Only on Tuesdays.
Seriously, only on Tuesdays? Like is it a
No, I'm down.
nipple play? You're down?
Yeah.
Okay. You know that one? No.
It's
No.
a hard pass.
Oh, a hard no. Jack's good. Jack's good. That one, hard no.
Love
Okay.
y'all, mean it.
Okay.
Love you.
We love you. Miss you already.
See you. Bye.
That's fun.
Keep hanging, because I can't.